Hey, Heartfelt families, it is Mr. Justin. Today we are going to be doing a small group activity that has to do with kind of our week's theme of science and technology. So if you haven't seen the other video that I put out this week when I read a story, I talked about how science there's a bunch of different types of science. And so one type of science is called biology. And biology is all about living things and living organisms. And so animals kind of fall into that category because they're living. And so, like the book I read, our activity today is going to be focused on animals. And so, what you're going to do today is I'm going to give you guys a couple ways to do it. So, whatever kind of fits what kind of materials you have at home or fits your child's needs and what they need to work on, it's totally up to you and how you do it. So for mine, we're basically you're going to be drawing two circles on paper, and the circles you want to be overlapping. And so when I say overlapping, you notice I have one circle here and one circle here. But the circles aren't separated, they are together right here. So you see that they kind of overlap with one another. And so what you're going to do next is you can either, like at Hartfield, we have a bunch of plastic animals. So you could do this on the floor instead of on a paper if you want. Or you could also do it with stuffed animals if your child has a bunch of stuffed animals. If you have a bunch of stuffed animals at home, that's also a great way to do this activity. But with the two circles, what I did was I labeled one land and one ocean. And so for mine, I printed off pictures off my computer of animals, and then I cut them out. And so what I did was this is kind of a sorting activity. And so on one side, I put all the animals that live on land. This word up here says land. And so I put all the animals that live on land right in that section. And then I have ocean written over here. And these are all the ocean animals. And then the section in the middle is really cool because those are animals that are called amphibians. And so if you're amphibious, it means that you can either live on land or in the ocean, so either water or on land. So it's really cool. So those type of animals are like certain types of frogs and snakes. So those are amphibious. They can live on land or in water. Another example for lands I put is a leopard, a flamingo, and a hippo. And for the ocean, I have crabs, a fish, and a jellyfish. So definitely you can do it any way you want. I gave you a couple of suggestions, but feel free to make your own categories and sort your animals out that way as well. At this point of the video, I'm just going to talk about different points of high school curriculum and core that this activity covers. And so one of the ways, especially if you're doing this type where you're cutting out pictures of animals, this activity really helps fine motor skills, especially if, like I said, if they're cutting out pictures of animals, because scissors are a great way. Using scissors are a great way to build up your child's fine motor muscles and dexterity. And so any versions, but I definitely think the one where you cut things out is very helpful. Another great way is at the end of the project, you can have your child count. So you could say like, how many ocean animals did you end up with? And then they can count. And how many land animals did you have? Which one did you have more of? And so just kind of asking questions like that at the end of the project is really helpful, really gets your child to think, and just helps with like math development skills. And another thing is spatial awareness. This is an activity that really challenges your child and helps your child figure out where things go. And so being like spatially aware that, oh, the land animals go here and the ocean animals go here and the ones in between live on both. And so being able to be spatially aware and understanding that things go in different like parts for this activity of the paper is something that's great to practice. Another thing you can do with your child beforehand is get them in the practice of predicting. I think a child's usual response into something is kind of just to be impulsive and just start. And so sometimes it's great to work and practice with your child to kind of wait first and kind of predict or kind of ask your child, well, how do you think you're going to do this today? Are you going to use your stuffed animals? Are you going to use, if you have plastic animals, how do you think, what's going to be best for you? and just ask other questions depending on your child's level with development. And then the last one I would say is definitely drawing conclusions. That is a great that's a great point of curriculum to work on. Usually has to do with science and sometimes math, but drawing conclusions is it's usually in the science category, but it can be throughout. I think for most things, drawing conclusions can be in any subject. So just at the end of activity, like asking your child, so what animals or what groups of animals did you have the most of? What did you have the least of? What did you find out? Do most animals live on land or the ocean? Just asking questions like that where they have to draw conclusions and put together the results of what they've been doing and working on their experiences with the project and the observations is really great practice. I hope everyone enjoys this activity. It is really fun. I've done it before with some kids and they really seem to enjoy it as well. But I hope everyone has a great day and I will talk to you guys very soon. All right, bye.